You ordered it up?
I did. I thought this would be great. So
Driving-
welcome people in.
Yeah, driving down 136 from Pittsburgh, it's already blowing over.
Is
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Yeah, the curve there right by 100.
I figured.
Yeah.
I hate 136 around those S curves anyways.
It's not good. 500 in North Salem.
Oh, 500's never good.
I guarantee you 100 out to Danville isn't good.
Sure.
Too many open areas.
Yes.
Supposed to pick up and supposed to be blowing in tomorrow.
There's not many nice places right now.
And it's only January, which scares me for February.
January's almost over.
It's the worst. They say it's the worst.
My wife picked the perfect time to go to Florida.
Oh, she
Oh,
did.
lucky her.
She left last Thursday and gets in today.
Good for her.
Was her flight delayed today at all or anything?
We're good.
We're good?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Haven't heard
Okay.
that.
Okay.
All right,
She's probably
Mr.
gonna
Jim
listen, she's going
D'Agostino.
back.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you.
So, really quick, I'm Jamie Thompson, president of the Northwest Hendricks School Corporation School Board.
Jamie Love, Vice VP.
Emily Police Secretary.
Brad Williams, member.
All right, thank you for applying and joining us tonight. First question, we have a series of questions for you. How will you handle disagreements among board members or with the superintendent?
I'd like to say one-on-one with them. Obviously, things at a public board meeting, I think that you can hash things out behind the scenes and having those conversations. So I think it's important that the board members are getting along, but I also think it's important that we have diversity of thought. Everybody's coming in, you guys are all represent, obviously, different townships and at-large members, but representing the public and obviously representing the taxpayers and the students, I think that's important. So we're not always going to agree, but if you can have those conversations straight on with that person, let them know that you're coming from, and maybe it's you have more information than they had, or you have different information than they had. The same thing would be with the superintendent. One of the main roles that the board does is act on the recommendations of the superintendent, and I want to make sure that I have all the information when Dave is making that recommendation, and if I don't, scheduling a meeting with him ahead of time. But I think a lot of those things can be hashed out before you go into a public meeting. I don't like grandstanding. When somebody votes no, I don't need to know why you voted no, just vote no, we're gonna move on, because a lot of times it's gonna be 4-1. And I didn't check the history of your voting, but I'm guessing that 99.9% of the time it was 5-0. And I think that means the superintendent provided you great information and you had the opportunity to go through and you made those decisions. Because when I vote yes, nobody cares why I voted yes, I just voted yes. But when you vote no, then they want to know why you voted no. So I think it's important, the diversity of thought, but I also think it's important that you have all the information and all the facts to make an educated decision.
Perfect, yep, thank you.
Okay. What does ethical leadership look like to you in a school board role?
It means being straightforward. It means obviously being honest. It means providing factual information. There's opportunities where the public wants to have more information than you can provide. I'm not going to sit here and be naive that you don't know the situation that I went through when I was on the school board before. I take guidance from the Indiana School Board Association. Lisa Tansel, a mentor to me, obviously a great school board member here. Sometimes she says, Jim, you just got to sit there and you got to take it. Okay, Lisa. I think that's part of it when you got to do it. But the things that you can provide, I think it's that you come out and you say those things. Obviously, the superintendent represents the school corporation and being the CEO and putting that public message out there. I want to be available to the public and answer questions to them, but there's just sometimes they're not going to be able to have that information. Obviously, things that happen in an executive session, things that happened the public doesn't get to know about. They just don't get to know, and that's the setup that happens. So sometimes you just have to sit there and take it.
How would you use your position on the school board to inspire other students, parents, educators, community members to invest time and talents in supporting learning?
Well, I think number one is obviously to be a great role model. I'm an active member in our community. I was telling Jamie after the interview tonight, I'm going to Danville to officiate 7th and 8th grade basketball. So obviously I'm out there in the public. We still live in Pittsburgh. active part, walking around, seeing people. It's important to be a great model at all times. And I think that aligns with what the motto of the school corporation is. That we want excellence in everything that the kids are doing, but you gotta be a great role model, obviously, for the adults and for the kids and everything that you think, do, and say.
Good.
What does a positive school culture look like to you, and what role does the school board play in shaping it?
The number one role that you play is hiring a superintendent. And then the superintendent is obviously going to make decisions on the other personnel that are making the day-to-day happen. From assistant superintendents to obviously principals and other directors in the school corporation. But the school board's got to hold the superintendent accountable for his actions. And that's really the one person that the school board evaluates. Superintendent is not doing their job, then obviously you're gonna have that coming to Jesus with them, that you want to see things that are gonna go differently. Obviously, if there's an employee situation where an employee made a bad choice, you're gonna go back through those employment records and make sure that everything was in line. But I think there would have to be a series of things that would occur, but holding the superintendent accountable, I think, is the most important role.
Good, thank you.
As a board member, are you capable of leaving your personal beliefs and biases at the door and coming to meetings with an open mind?
I believe you have to, and this is it's a public institution, and that's the part too, that I'm a Catholic by faith. We're members of St. Christopher and Speedway, so I'm going to espouse my Catholic values and who I am, who Jim DiAgostino is. And a lot of times I can do that without saying a word, and that's the interactions that I want to have with people. But I can't let my Catholic beliefs and who I am influence the education they're providing for the kids. And then obviously being great stewards of the taxpayers' dollars here. So sometimes I have to put those things aside when I'm making those decisions.
Yeah. Thank you. What do you believe were the key reasons voters chose not to elect you previously? And how have you responded to that feedback?
Well, the feedback would be when they're putting their ticket in the polling box, or they're actually punching that. And the hard part on that, Jamie, is that I never had anybody come to me and say, Jim DiAgostino, I never had that. And I never had a friend or somebody that I trusted, somebody that knew Jim DiAgostino's person, come up and say, we don't trust you. I never had that. I did have a lot of people who I felt didn't know factual information.
Sure.
I think there was a lot of people that didn't understand how everything works and the processes that have to go into those employee situations. I bet we could go back through the records of Northwest Hendricks, and there hasn't been an employee termination since that time.
Sure.
Let's go back that far. So when was the last board member that was a part of that situation?
Sure.
So the reality is, I think the voters said what they thought was the best thing, and I think that they've done a great job in the role, and that's who they wanted. And why didn't I figured one of the questions would be, why did I run in the last election? Well, when I think board members are doing a great job, then
Sure.
I want to continue to support them, and I don't feel like I need to. And now here was the opportunity that I could get back on the board.
Fair.
What concrete steps have you taken since the last election to stay engaged with our school, staff, students, and families?
Well, fun fact is Dave Hobel and I have known each other for all the way back to 2002 when I had my first administrative position at LaVille High School. Dave was teaching chemistry and math, and we're both varsity football coaches and won a sectional. Go Lancers!
Go Lancers.
It was a great experience. So I could talk to Dave so I can stay involved, but getting on the website and everything is there and it's very transparent. So following up with what the board is doing. A great friend of mine, next door neighbor, is Ryan Nicolai, principal at the middle school. So obviously readily available. I had my two biggest sounding points. My wife retired last year. That was another connection that I had to the ins and outs of what things were going on in the school corporation. Of course, she was an instructional coach and a teacher and an aide at one time in the school district. dating back to 2012. And when our youngest graduated, so those of you that have kids in the school corporation, you know, the connection is just different when you have kids in school, because you're going to their activities, you're talking to parents, when you're going to those activities, so there. But, you know, reviewing school board minutes, knowing when the agenda is, if there was something that came up, I think it was when Dr. Syverson was here, and I thought his compensation for his salary, so I attended the board meeting, I made my 2-cent comments about why I think that he needed to be compensated differently, and got my car and rode back home. So I can be engaged when I want to, but I can stay in touch when I want to, and everything's on the website.
Good.
Yeah. How will you ensure transparency with the community without fueling misinformation or public conflict?
Again, I go back to that, you can come to me directly, and the things that I can tell you, I'm willing to tell you, but there's certain things, especially when it comes to employee situations, that cannot be told, because there's two sides of that. If I come out and I say, Sally did X, Y, and Z, you're exactly right, well, then we're gonna have a lawsuit against school corporation, because I'm not doing my job as a school board member. And again, sometimes you just have to sit there and take it. So the things that I can say are factual as a school board member. I want to give them that information. But at the same time, we know this, folks. People come out of the woodwork when they're upset about something. How many times do people attend the board meeting to say, everything's going great, we're doing a great job?
Thank you.
I-STEP scores are up. It doesn't happen that way, so I understand that, but I wish it wasn't that way. Let us know when we are doing a good job. And again, going back to the voting records, I bet it's slim and none that there was a 4-to-1 vote or a 3-to-2 vote during the time that you guys have been together, because you're getting great information from the superintendent. He's making great recommendations, and everything is going well. It's when things blow up that it becomes challenging, and nobody wants to go through that. I didn't want to go through that. Brad didn't want to go through that. The other 3 board members didn't want to go through that. But we worked through the process. But again, giving factual information that I'm allowed to do, that's what I want to do.
Good. Any other questions?
No, I guess if you want
Yes.
to comment or
Any questions for us?
give your, speak for us. Or
I mean, I appreciated the questions that you had on the application, and it seems to look that you're looking for somebody that has knowledge and experience. And obviously my background is in education, with 33 years as a teacher and administrator, and the last 13 as a superintendent, obviously in a different school corporation. But Hendricks County's got a lot of great school corporations. I would have sent my kids to any of the 6 in here, so they're all very good. But obviously we chose to live here, and I think that's important as well. But I feel that I'm extremely well versed in school finances, and the part is here that, and Dave did an excellent job with the board presentation on the budget. I know he just updated you at the January meeting on SEA 1, which is basically turned school finances as far as taxes upside down from what it used to be, and. Yes, it is. It's challenging. Extremely challenging, and I know Dave would say this too, and I did the same thing, is that we would manage to a tax rate. Well, then the legislator said, well, we want you to manage to our tax rate, meaning the debt service and how much you were allowed to do there. And now they totally flipped that, where they're basically artificially inflating the assessed valuation. Well, the assessed valuation goes up, the rate's gonna go down. Well, is that really what's happening? But now they've lowered the assessed valuation so that the rate goes up. Well, the average taxpayer, I don't think, understands it. As school board members, it takes you a while just to grasp and understand that concept of it. And the taxpayers want to know that the kids are getting a great education and that we're providing outstanding facilities, which, coming here, it's unbelievable compared to what it used to be. It's just with the outdoor project. I said, let alone if we just get new restrooms and new concession stand, I'll feel like we did good. So a huge improvement. So it's going great there. And I feel for Dave, and I know he made the right decisions on the reductions in staffing that he had to make. It used to be they had assistant Dave was assistant superintendent, you had superintendent, you had curriculum director, you had instructional coaches. But those were areas that he felt like he could absorb and had to absorb to save those monies. At the same time, who's doing those jobs? Well, you got one person here, or they're being sifted out, I'm sure to the administrators. And I went through that at one time when the school board moved on to superintendent, and we just had an assistant. So the principals took on a lot of that role of what the assistant superintendent was doing. So those decisions had to be made. So I'm extremely well versed in school finance. The part I also put in there on my application, I understand and I can do the math where legislators are basically gonna force communities to decide about a referendum. There's probably gonna be, I'm guessing 50 to 60 at the next election, because that's just the reality. Will our school community support a referendum? Well, they've got to know the track record of all the things that have happened leading up to this. And again, we were talking about people's finances. Nobody cares until it impacts them personally. Then all of a sudden you're asking them for more money. Are they going to support it? And then they're going to turn around and say, why'd you build that stadium? Why'd you put in those soccer fields? Why'd you do this? Why'd you do that? It's different funds, folks. But they don't want to hear that, and it's just challenging. But I understand the ins and outs of school finance. Now, the educational part of why we're in the business of educating kids as well, I feel extremely well versed. But in my role as superintendent, I had an excellent assistant superintendent who took care of all the curriculum, instruction, assessment, professional development, our master plan. She did a magnificent job of all those things that I could solely focus in on school finance, which a lot of school finance just comes down to personnel. I mean, that's 90 to 95% of the bills are going to be people.
Yes, thank you. That's our reality.
It's,
Well, good, okay, good. Yes, thank you very much for coming in and
Yes.
applying. It was very nice to see your name come across.
Good.
You know, as a member of our community and a servant of our community for many, many years, it was nice to see your name come across. And like Mr. Howell said, we're making our decision, and really next week, it depends on Mother Nature. She may have, we'll take her into consideration, but.
I mean Greenland.
So, thank you, and we will be in touch
absolutely.
beginning of next week. And who's playing tonight, Danville?
Yes, that's where I'm officiating. I'm not positive who they're playing.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, thank you.
Drive safe.
Thank you for your consideration.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And I wish we were in Florida.
Absolutely.
She may turn around and go back.
She might.
When she comes home. I mean, I wouldn't blame her. Okay.
We're good.
Yeah. Yeah, we did end early. Yeah, that one. Yeah, what else?
Sure.
Should we push us on pause?
I don't know if I'm allowed to,
That's
or.
all right. I mean, that's all right. We can
I
just.
could, but I don't know if I'm violating any rules by doing that, if it has to be one continuous meeting or not.
Mr. Hoball?
Yeah.
Can we push pause on our live stream?
Yeah.
Okay, we can push that.
You just said, yeah, pause the meeting.
Can we go back and then we're
Yeah, that's why we scheduled the executive session for later.
Our president can take us to exec session.
That is true. I think that is right.
So it is.
Yes. So I'm going to put us into an executive session.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
I'll be back in tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we'll be back.
Mr. Ward's full. Okay.
Yeah, and Mr. Ward.
Alex Kenneth's out there waiting, but he knows he's gonna be there a while.
Okay,
He
okay,
told me, he goes, I know, early. I said, okay.
okay, perfect,
That's functional.
perfect. Okay.
Yes, that's
I'll
very
go fetch
functional.
some water. Get one myself.
Yes. I'm gonna steal a minute.
I'm in.
But I will steal it from my own area.
Fine.
just love him.
Come on in. Well, looky there.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, I'm
Good, I don't care what you get
See you. See you.
You know what? I didn't know how it was gonna be appropriate. I was gonna do that.
And then I said, I'm getting,
Katie didn't feel comfortable.
I'm getting up.
I know, I said, I can't help it.
I can't help it. I'm up.
That's okay, you know what?
We brought really pretty weather for you today.
Did.
Yes, we thought you'd like that. We thought you'd like it.
That was great.
Well, thank you for interviewing and filling out the application. We have 6 applicants. Mr. Hoball, did you give him the spiel?
I did.
Okay, so we were very excited to ask you questions, and thank you for coming. So, oh, we have 2 introductions. I'm Jamie Thompson, President of the School Board.
J.D. Love, Vice President.
Emily Fleet, Secretary.
Brad Williams, member.
Okay, all right, here we go.
Senior. Senior member.
How will you handle disagreements among board members or with the superintendent?
Okay, that's a good question. I've been there before, so.
First-hand experience.
Yeah. Well, I mean, among the board, I've seen some nasty situations, and I've seen some where they've been able to resolve them over the years. It just takes, you gotta be cool about it. I mean, honestly, you gotta sit down, you gotta talk about it. Everybody's gonna disagree on something. I mean, you're lucky if all 5 of you will agree on something.
Sure.
But you just have to work it out. I'm sorry, you know, that's the bottom line. And we've got a responsibility to do, you know, for the community and for the superintendent, and you know, you just work it out. And then, as a board member, I had a disagreement with the superintendent, which I did many times. We sat down, we talked about it, you know, and sometimes we still didn't agree on the end result, you know, but we were pretty bullheaded, both of us. And, but you know what? We wound up being the best of friends in the end, you know, because we knew we had one goal in common, and that was what was best for Northwest Hendricks schools. And that's how we got along in the end.
Yeah, and that's what it's about.
Okay. What does ethical leadership look like to you in a school board role?
Well, I mean, I think it's a team. Okay, I've always had the philosophy of being anything I do is a team. I'm just one part of that team. Because together everyone accomplishes more. I mean, that was my saying.
That
you
was
know,
for years and years.
Yep.
forever, and when I was principal, and it worked. You know, I mean, I didn't ask anybody to do anything that I wouldn't do. I mean, I cleaned restrooms, I shoveled walks, I did anything that I asked anybody to do. I went to professional development meetings with teachers. I went with custodians to their workshops in the summertime. That's what leadership is. You have to be a part of the total program, or it just doesn't work. And that's why, you know, I'll be honest with you, that's why I was successful here at Northwest Hendricks, is because people saw me as one of them.
I would agree to that. When you're approachable, and I feel like you care, and I feel like in your tenure, people knew you cared, and you were one of us, and, yeah.
I'm looking forward to this one. How would you use your position as a school board member to inspire other students, parents, educators, and community members to invest time and talents in supporting our youth?
Okay, well, be involved, okay? I was just reading something today on Facebook where Emily there is in charge of the Paul's program at the high school. That's important. You know, even though you're just not a parent, but you're a part of it. Don't stay away because you're a school board member. Be
More.
a part of it.
Yes, be in it more, yes.
Yeah. And show your face, you know, you never want to be ashamed of what you're doing. You're always out there to get input, listen, don't give, you gotta be a good listener, okay? And that's what I am, a good listener, always have been
I
too,
agree.
that.
I agree.
So you just just gotta listen to people and, tell them, you know, we'll think about those things, you know? We'll sit down as a board and think about them. And, so, yeah.
Do you need any bundt cakes?
Well, I know,
Is that what you
I'm
said?
going, I told my wife about those bug cakes. I said, we'll probably have to order some.
You're gonna have to. There's all kinds of good flavors.
But that's the thing, you know, the last, 9 years since I've been gone, you know, I mean.
Has it been 9? We were trying to do 9.
Yeah. I haven't really felt welcomed, you know, I mean, it's bothered me a lot.
I know.
And, you know, it's like the last superintendent, I asked, you know, if you need help with that foundation board, I'd be more than happy to get back on it. I was one of the founding members of it, you know, and we did a lot for the teachers, you know, we really did. We had a lot of fundraisers, you know, and things like that, and we were able to give teachers money. And nowadays, you gotta do those types of things, you know,
Yes,
because
you do.
you don't have the extra money, okay? You got
Yep.
financial issues here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
So, I mean, that's, you know, so I was disappointed I didn't get the help out in that. Oh, he said, yeah, I'll get you, you know, blah, blah, blah. They never did, okay? I don't think they wanted me around for the most part, you know?
Sure.
I was never a threat to anybody. I didn't want anybody's job. I was retired, you know? I'm
Sure.
done.
Yeah.
You know? But, this part, school board is just a way to give back and assist, you know? I mean, I wanna work with people. That's all I wanna do is work with people. I think it's fantastic to work with 3 former students and, you know, in a different role. And, of course, Brad, I've worked with as administrator on the board for several years. Not only as a principal, but as assistant superintendent too. So he knows some of the hard decisions we had to make at that level.
Sure.
You know, when I was leaving and so forth, so, you know, that's where we're at now.
So you don't wanna be like a driving instructor again or anything like that?
You sure?
20 years was enough.
Because you can this summer. I know a kid. I know a kid. I know a kid.
I let my license expire on that too. And I didn't renew my superintendent's license either. But I have a life license as a principal.
So, okay, good to know. I'm gonna document that.
Not as a superintendent. I had all the paperwork done, and everything. The only thing I had to do was do the CPR, but I could not find any place to take the CPR.
Really?
Yeah, because here, they only wanted to let people within the school corporation take the CPR.
You should have called me.
Yeah,
There's-
I know a person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know a couple of people.
yes. Okay.
So that boat has gone.
Just say it.
Okay, our next question is, what does a positive school culture look like to you? And what role does the school board play in shaping it?
Well, you have to agree with what the administrators, you know, come up with. But the school culture is so important. I mean, people have to be happy, you know? And I can only go back on, I mean, what I did as a principal, you know, I mean, that was my life here. Try to get everybody to work together, as always. I tried to reward them in other ways than financially. And that took a lot of work because I built up a lot of business partnerships to do that. And I think you have to do that too, even as a school board member, you have to get those business partnerships. And I know Dave's trying to work on that down the road, so he's got his plate full of so many things.
So many things.
What was the second part of the question?
Like, what does a positive school culture look like to you?
It's
And
just-
what role does
yeah.
the school board play in
Right.
shaping it?
Just to support. I think, you know, school board members, I always wanted them to come and visit me, okay, at
Yeah.
school, as a principal. I was never, I mean, they all didn't always agree with me, but I wanted the chance to show them, this is what I'm
Yes.
trying to accomplish in this
Yes.
building. So come here and see it,
See it in action.
and then you'll agree with me. You know, because I was big on taking students to leadership conferences, as you well know. I mean, anywhere and any place I could find someplace. And I think too, you know, I've noticed, here, I keep tabs on everything, of course. That's just the nature of it. But
Can't take it out of
the
you.
IHSA, you know, every summer, they have a leadership type thing, you know, for student athletes. But I haven't seen Tri-West send anybody in the last couple of years, so I wonder why. I just don't know the answer, but
Interesting.
I haven't, in the paper, it's always in the paper, all these schools in Hendricks County that send them,
They do.
but Tri-West isn't listed. So,
I'm gonna look more into that.
As a board member, are you capable of leaving your personal bias and beliefs at the door and coming into a meeting with an open mind?
absolutely. I have no problem with, I have no agenda, let's put it that way, okay? I've seen board members come on bill before and have an agenda, okay? And we had some heated discussions in executive session over those things, okay? But I have no agenda. I'm here to offer what I can for you based on my 40 years of experience here. That's all I can speak to, is 40 years. I've done it all, I feel like. Started out as a classroom teacher. I've seen, and I've had to do reduction in force. I've had to make budget cuts. Those aren't good things to do, but you're facing them up front, I'll tell you right now. I know Dave's made about, I read $600,000 in cuts. That's not enough yet. I news for you. But,
Yeah.
I don't know what the actual figure is here. My guess would be about $1.5 million, though, probably. Brownsburg's $3 million this year. And, so, yeah, you're up there somewhere.
Not where I want to be on top of.
Yeah.
No.
I'm there.
And I'm not afraid of that, okay?
Yeah.
I mean,
It is what it is, I mean,
it's
it's pretty
what
much,
you gotta do.
it's what you gotta do to keep it going.
But I think the right steps have been taken so far.
You have to try to stay ahead of it,
Yeah.
best you can. Till the rules change, and then you have to get ahead
Well,
of
yeah,
the
you're
next rules.
fighting the legislature that you never know what they're gonna throw at you, okay?
Exactly.
There's a Senate bill now that passed out, on these cell phones, the personal devices. I mean, what's a school gonna do with that? I mean, sure, you can tell kids not to bring them to school or
Yeah.
whatever, but
But
then,
you know how that goes.
you know what, how that's gonna be enforced?
Yeah.
That's gonna be a full-time job for one person.
And then the other option, they said, well, they could always just bring them and turn them into the office in a storage thing. Well, that's
And
like
how
years
huge is
ago.
that gonna be?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. That's like years ago when we collected the keys from the kids.
Oh, yeah.
At the main office, and then at 3:30, here, you can have your keys back.
Yes,
It worked, but,
Sure.
and nobody complained, but,
but now, I mean, you take this away from someone.
But then
and-
they've got this, and
Yeah.
they've got this, and they've got all these different gadgets now, it's not just the phone.
No, you're right, I mean, the phone
They
is.
find a way around
Right.
it.
and I was one of the people that pushed to have their devices in the classroom, because we couldn't afford
Yeah.
a computer for every student at the
Yeah.
time, okay?
Yeah.
So we used it as their device.
So we used
Yeah, I
the
remember
phone as
those
a
days.
device, we had to.
Yeah,
To
didn't
keep
have
up.
choice. Yeah, I remember when my cousins were, when they had their devices and they did everything.
How has the district changed since your tenure, and how has your thinking evolved with it?
Well, it's like I said, I want to still be involved somewhat, I've thought about running for the school board before. There's no doubt about that. I mean, but then I always had my paperwork done, but I never submitted it because there was always a Tri-West student that applied. And I thought, I'm not gonna run against a Tri-West student. They deserve that opportunity first.
Which
before
speaks
they-
so much to your character.
It does, like volumes.
And, so, but this time, it's an appointed position. And I don't know who applied totally, so, I mean, I've heard a few rumors, who
Sure.
applied, but, so I thought, you know what? I would give it a chance, because I think I can bring something positive, to all of you, and the Dave,
This is a very unique circumstance we're in.
Yeah, I can only remember a couple other times we had to do this, I think.
there was an appointment,
Before I got on, there was an appointment.
well,
Because,
there were two appointments at one time.
Really?
Yeah, because two school board members were elected with an agenda. And they
that
didn't-
was way back.
Way, way back. They didn't accomplish it, so therefore they resigned.
Oh, okay.
The one that I can remember is Mr. Terrell went back to teaching.
Right.
So he had to step aside,
Right.
and I applied like you are in that situation.
Yep.
So, that was before I was elected.
But, been in the community
Mhm.
too, so I know what people think. Just like I said, I'm a good listener.
Yes,
We can vouch for that.
I can vouch for that one. Mhm. In many different facets of my life. The non-good decision-making way, and now in,
So many times,
I know.
my house was like Dry West High School.
Yeah.
I didn't get away from work.
No,
When I
never.
went home, I had 10 kids there.
you couldn't get away.
I understand your
I
Yeah.
probably applauded a few of them, actually.
Yeah, I know I did. I know I'm to blame for several of them.
Oh, my goodness. You
Okay.
might have already answered this.
I
but
think
I'm
so.
gonna ask it anyway, but, why is now the right time for you to return to the district leadership in this different role?
Well, hopefully give you some decent input and make you feel okay about, you know, what you're gonna have to do. And when it comes to some budget cuts, it's just not a pretty thing.
It's a personal thing, and, you know, everybody will take it different ways.
Right, and you just need to be supported, and I think I can help you go through that process, since I've done it, you know, more times than I cared to have ever imagined to have done, and that certainly didn't like, you know, I mean, I've cut programs, like I said, I had to unfortunately let people go. It's tough, it's real tough, and you gotta have somebody to talk to, you know, about it when you go through it.
Sure. Sure. Last question. What role does leadership tone play in school climate, and how can board actions positively or negatively affect that?
Run that by me.
I know, that's a tough
loaded
one.
question.
That is a loaded question.
It's changed.
I know, it
So
is.
you can,
You can blame me.
Did you expect anything else?
No, he doesn't. What role does leadership play in school climate, and how can board actions positively or negatively affect that?
Okay. Well, first of all, Dave back there, I've seen him smile a lot, even though things are, you know, tough on him right now, you know, being the only person, you know, to run the show. And that's it right there. You gotta keep a positive attitude on what you're doing. And that's the bottom line. And you know what's even better? He's been here 20 years. That's important,
I
okay?
agree.
Because people trust,
Yep.
you know, his leadership right now. And so he'll be able to do some things that normally some other people might not be do,
The trust is already
just
there.
because the trust is there. And so the school board then, as long as you're supportive of the superintendent and you talk things out, then the whole atmosphere will be good, okay? You just have to, I know you don't maybe believe all that, but, you know, like I said, 40 years, 34 of them in administration, you don't make everybody happy, but the more you respect their opinion, the more you'll get.
And do you feel like you've had it in situations in your tenure here where, you know, you had maybe a superintendent or a leader in some facet where the board didn't align, and it affected everyone in the?
Well, we've had superintendents, yes, I mean,
Or you feel like it trickled down?
I think the superintendent that replaced me, you know, was, he just didn't know how to treat the people, I don't feel like.
And that's the
I mean,
most important thing.
I mean, I was a part of the process that recommended him to be the superintendent. And I misjudged,
Sure.
honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, I apologized to the school principals on that one,
Sure.
because it was just totally different. I mean, we didn't get the person we interviewed. We just didn't. And so, that was just a bad situation. I
Sure.
feel like. I don't know how other people felt about it,
Sure.
but from my perspective, I knew it wasn't a right fit afterwards, because, you know, as the old saying goes, pretty much when I finished on, in July there, it was out the door, you know? So-
Yeah, I mean, I do think it starts at the top. I mean,
So, and there's people, as principal, as a superintendent, we had some other issues with too, you know, I mean, not very rampant, so, you know, I mean, he came in like a bull, you know, but he went out easy.
He was.
I can respect that.
Yeah.
Nobody else likes Larry. I mean, he was here 23 years. or
23,
something.
24 years.
Yeah, I mean, that's unheard of.
Sure.
That's unheard of now.
Most superintendents don't like
We
five.
have that now.
Really, is that the number 5? I know that's what teacher is. I mean, typically if you make it past 5, you're good, but a lot of people don't make it past 5.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like I said though, he was always out in the community though.
Right.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the key part.
Always walking the buildings.
Right,
He was always.
always everywhere.
Yeah.
He'd show up in your,
That's,
he'd show up in your.
you know, and here's the thing, when I was assistant superintendent, I welcomed him in. He, you know how many days he came in to see me here and blew me crap, you know?
Oh,
That I
sure.
wasn't doing the job right.
Yes.
I listened to him. I said,
Yeah.
you know what, you're right. You
Yeah.
know, I
Yeah.
gotta work on that.
But you built that relationship for years and that sense of trust and,
But he was a part of the school. I mean, he was just not superintendent. He wanted to be a part of the buildings too, all right?
yeah.
And that's what made him successful too, all right?
Yeah.
Because he worked hard. He helped me a lot when it came to decathlon and so forth.
Sure.
And securing funding and things,
Sure.
other programs too. He helped a lot. And as a board member, I would do that as well. I would try and help
Mhm.
secure some
And that-
finance
and
for
that's
other
what-
ways, as
Yeah,
much as I could.
and that's what we are wanting to do, you know, with our new leader and we have a great relationship with Mr. Hoball and that's what we wanna do. We wanna be more involved and not just be a seat filler, you know, we wanna get out and do and what can we do for Mr. Hoball? Cause, you know, cause we're all here for the same goal, our children, our community,
Right.
you know, that's,
What we're here for. And
That's
I
our
got-
business.
I got 3 grandkids that are gonna come up in here now too, so.
and we'll blink and they'll be here,
Right.
you know?
Well, you helped instill that in the 3 of us.
Yes, agreed. Agreed.
Yes, yep, if it weren't for you, I would not even have my driver's license, so.
Well, Mr. Kuhn did that, but he probably didn't want to. So,
I'm, you know, my best friends are all former students, in all honesty.
yes.
They are, I mean.
Yeah.
Last week I went out with a former student, you know, for lunch one day. And I've had former students come over and work on my house for me, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just the relationship I have with students.
Yes. And that felt so normal.
Mhm.
And then when you get out in the real world, you're like, oh, you don't spend the night at your principal's house with his daughter every weekend? Okay. You didn't go to Florida and Las Vegas. Okay, so we had a different upbringing. Okay. Yeah. Very blessed. Very blessed. in our
Yeah,
community.
I feel like Northwest Hendricks right now is going through a renaissance. Honestly, it's a rebirth.
Yeah. Way to connect
That's,
it.
that's
Yes.
the way, you know, that's what the word
Yes.
means, rebirth.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
feel
yes.
like that's what you're going through right
Yeah.
now, rebirth.
Yeah, and it's a pleasure to be right in the mix of it, and what can we
It
do to
is.
make a difference to,
It
you
is.
know, give our children and our community what we had.
And I
Yes.
sincerely hope the best. You know,
Yes.
I really do. And
Yes,
I would
So
do my best to help you.
It's a reason you do this job,
yeah.
because you care.
Without our community, what are we?
And keep smiling.
Stay positive.
Yes.
This time I've never seen you smile.
Well,
Well, most of the
some
time.
late nights, maybe by myself here at 11 o'clock at night.
Well, I will say, there has been a couple times where
Were you
we,
involved in it?
no, I wasn't the leader, it would have been his daughter, but I was just the scapegoat, you know, I would have never.
Oh, I've seen him not happy with
Yeah.
me. I broke glass, I made a mess, I got in trouble, it was not good.
It's okay,
But I remembered that and I had to pay for it, it was a very good lesson you taught.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And then, yes, and those, yes, big impact on all 3 of us, all big impact.
Well,
So,
I hope I have the opportunity to work with you some more, but I understand, you know, somebody else is, you know, better, that's the way it goes.
well, thank you so much for
Yeah.
coming and interviewing and seeing your name come across was,
It was a breath of fresh air,
it was, wasn't it? Yeah, breath of fresh air.
because this is challenging.
I know it is.
To say the least.
This has cost me more stress than cabinet cats.
Well, good, and then we will contact you probably early next week. And what else am I forgetting? Reach out next week,
Yeah, we got next weekend.
and then unless Mother Nature has other plans for us,
How does it feel to be invaded by grievance?
he's come up with this
Yeah.
joke, ignore it, ignore it.
That's okay, you know, because what I was gonna say, I'm like a bad penny, I won't go away.
That one's better than Greenland. That one's better.
But here's the thing, they don't make pennies anymore. So I'm probably going away.
I love it.
Hey, that's my second job, be a comedian.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, you got so many different facets. And you're a babysitter,
I do that too.
you're a good babysitter.
Yeah, on snow days, yeah. Got
Yeah,
Like kindergarten, they're all day, and we did a little e-learning.
you did, how was that?
We're gonna pass it off to her mother tonight.
Perfect, perfect, you can keep her during the day, but yeah.
What do you go by with your grandkids?
Papa.
Does Papa furnish Mountain Dew?
No,
Not do candy?
no,
Peach green tea lemonade.
With sugar?
Yeah, but whatever Starbucks makes it with. And then they get a cake pop on top of it.
oh, right, that's the best,
Yeah.
that's the
I
best.
gotta get out of here, because you got other people.
Here, give me a hug.
Appreciate it,
I
Ron.
really do.
Tell her I said, hi, give me a hug, I'm not taking my hand off. Bye. Thank you, Mr. Ward.
Take care, all right?
Thank you so much. I
Yep.
will.
Yes, tell Deborah we said hi too.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Probably a 2-hour delay tomorrow.
Oh, no, more than that.
Huh? You're gonna go home
What's
now?
that? I think I just need to say,
I know
I'm
you're
gonna
going
put us
home.
into an executive session.
Windshield's going away.
And the roads are so bad. I just got a
Okay.
text from a bus driver driving around.
Okay.
There's no way I had my
Okay.
bus done.
How you guys doing?
Good.
Good, how are you?
How are
Good.
you?
Alex, good to see you.
Good to see you. Good to see you, Jay.
Hi.
Hey, how are
Nice to
you?
meet you.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Just hoping my nerves don't sabotage me today.
We're just for
We're just.
Somewhat normal people.
We're regular
Yeah.
people.
Okay.
Four Tri-West grads.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's who we are.
Yep,
I'm Jamie Thompson, president
Okay.
of the school board.
perfect.
JD Love, VP.
Okay,
Emily Fleece, secretary.
okay.
Brad Williams, member.
So first of all, thank you for applying and
Yep.
coming to meet with us today.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. First question, we have a series of questions for you.
Okay.
How would you handle disagreements among board members or with the superintendents?
Yeah, so obviously it's a board, normally you have 5 different people. So there's gonna be disagreements, different perspectives, different opinions. So I think you work through that in the board meetings, right? So, I think it's important that in the public, they see that you're all on the same page. So whether or not there's disagreements in your board meetings, then, you work that out. And then, you just want the public to see, you want the public to see a 5-0 vote, right? So you don't wanna see 3-2, disagreements and stuff like that. So I think that's the most important part. And then, yeah, so I think that's the most important.
Good, thank you.
Okay. What does ethical leadership look like to you in a school board role?
Yeah, so ethical, moral, I think those kind of go together. So I think you guys are elected officials by the community. So a lot of the community knows who you guys are. They put you in these positions because they have faith in you. They know you are people of high morals, so they know you'll operate that way. So if you're running a school corporation, which ultimately the school board is the boss of, you want to make sure that everybody is ethical. Make sure that system of checks and balances. Make sure that the superintendent is running things how he should be from an ethical perspective. So I think, and I know you guys a little bit, not too well, but I think knowing the backgrounds that you guys come from and the stuff that you're involved in, so I know you guys you have a good moral compass and a good vibe on ethics, so I think that's important when you're leading a whole school corporation.
Good, thank you.
Alex, how would you use your position as a school board member to inspire other students, parents, educators, community members to invest time and talent in supporting their youth?
Yeah, so I think like I touched on earlier, everybody kind of brings in a different perspective. So obviously, I can't tell you for sure, but I'm probably one of the younger candidates you're interviewing. So I think being young in itself brings a different perspective and allows maybe me to see things that you guys wanted. So I know that I've been within the school district within the last decade or so as a student. So I kind of still know how things operate. So I think having somebody like that who brings that perspective is good. And yeah.
Good.
Very good.
Thank you. What does a positive school culture look like to you, and what role does the school board play in shaping it?
Yeah, so positive school culture, I think, goes from top bottom, superintendent, school board, and then from administration in the schools. So I think the most important part is that students feel safe and heard, and I think the biggest tell of that is that students want to be involved in things too. So obviously the school board they're in charge of policy, they're approving hires, and they're not usually the ones making the recommendations for the hires, but ultimately it all trickles down from there. So you want to make sure you have the right people in place at the high school level, the middle school level, the elementary level. So if school board's making the right policies to set all that into place, and then the administration is working with that, then I think it just all trickles down and has a good effect on everything else.
Good, thank you.
As a board member, are you capable of leaving your personal bias and beliefs at the door and coming into a meeting with an open mind?
Yes, so touching back on my age, kind of. So I'm 26. Obviously, I said I've been within the school recently, but I don't have any agendas, right? So a lot of the time when you get these elections, depending on what's happening in the school system, a lot of people run on certain agendas. So I think obviously I have my opinions and my beliefs on things, but I think that I would be able to set those aside and have my first thought being what's best for Northwest Hendricks School Corporation. So yeah, it's obviously important, and I think part of being on the board, you guys are able to work together on that, and yeah, so.
Good. Thank you.
Okay, many board decisions directly affect families with children currently in the district. How do you plan to ensure your decisions reflect the lived experiences of those families?
Yeah, so obviously, I think students are always your number one priority in this job, right? Education from bottom up, elementary, middle school, all the way through high school. So every decision, every policy decision you guys make is with the best interest of those kids. So kids, parents obviously have a big effect on that, and parents are going to have all kinds of opinions on everything as well. So I think the most important thing is that you just make sure when you're sitting up there making your decisions, it's kids first, which directly affects the families. And obviously there's going to be disagreements, but you want to make sure that the families also know that your best interest is the kids and making sure that they get a good education and good experiences here.
Good. Thank you. How do you approach decisions that may increase financial obligations for residents, given that you may not personally experience those impacts as a homeowner?
Yeah, so there's a lot to take into there. Obviously, there's a lot of different lifestyles and different people have different experiences in the school corporation. Nothing you're going to do is going to make everybody happy. And it kind of goes back to what I said earlier. You have to make the best decisions for the school corporation as a whole. So, and I know you guys, and I like to think the community knows that the board is thinking with they're taking everything into account, everyone it affects, and they're making the best overall decision. So I know there's going to be situations that affect certain people financially more than others, whether that has to do with taxes or whatever other decisions might be made. And you're going to have people who are upset about that, but I think at the end of the day, everybody knows that you guys are trying to make the best decisions, and some people are just going to have to accept it sometimes.
Okay, thank you.
How should school board members model the anti-bullying values we expect from students, particularly in their use of social media and public commentary about school staff?
Yeah, so obviously it's a small community, so word travels fast with a lot of stuff. And sometimes in small communities, you can kind of get that high school feel on certain situations. So everybody's tightly connected here at Tri-West. So that stuff is going to travel fast. There's going to be different opinions about whatever it may be. Maybe certain political beliefs, certain teachers that they don't like, they want fired, coaching, whatever it is. So I think you have to accept that people are going to have all those different opinions, and try, like as a school board, you want to leave that aside. So obviously, anti-bullying, nobody on the school board should be giving anybody an opportunity to think that they're going after anybody in the community. If there's a parent who has a disagreement on something, they don't like a coach, they shouldn't just go harass the coach and set that example for the kids. Same thing goes for a teacher. If a parent doesn't like a teacher, they shouldn't just be bad-mouthing them off to everybody. There's better solutions to stuff like that. So I think if it's a classroom issue, you have a conversation with the teacher first, and if you can't resolve it there, you take it up to the principal and go from there. If it's a coaching issue, you take it up personally with the coach and let them know your frustrations, and then from there maybe go to the AD. If it's a policy issue, obviously you can attend a board meeting and let your frustrations known there. So I think there's productive ways to let out your frustrations and let people know what your perspective is on things, and then there's obviously the wrong way to do stuff like that. So I think it's important that we set an example for the community on how things should be done and how they shouldn't be done.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions for us?
All I wanted to know really is how you guys, like, the best way you could describe how you, as a board, can most effectively, positively impact the community. I know when a lot of people run for positions like this, they think they've got one thing on mind, one agenda on mind, and they think they'll just be able to change it, right? Obviously, that's not how it works. So I just want to know if, like, when the community is upset about something as a whole, something like that, what's the best way to go about it? What's your guys' best method on figuring out a solution for that can maintain that positivity throughout?
Anybody want to go? Okay, I'll go. I think we work very closely with Mr. Hoball. And so
Yep.
since hiring Mr. Hoball 6 months ago, we formed a very professional relationship
Yep.
in which that, I go to reach out to Mr. Hoball a lot.
Yep.
And so when I share things that I'm hearing and that I'm concerned about, and Mr. Hoball always respects our voices,
Yep.
and we work together. And so we may be his boss, but it's more of a partnership.
Yep.
And so thank you, and we bring everything to him and we kind of go through things.
Okay.
And so when we have people reach out to us via text or in the community, it's always, you know what, thank you for bringing that to my attention. You know what, let me talk to Mr. Hoball about that.
Yep.
Because we go through the proper chain of command, we're responsible for
Yep.
Mr. Hoball.
Yep.
We don't, we have to make sure we're not going straight to another administrator in the
Yep.
building and going reaching above
Yep,
what we're
exactly.
responsible for.
Yep.
But again, we work with him, and so we have a concern about this, this teacher, or we've
Yep.
heard these things, reach out to him first, and then
Yep.
he does his job in
Yep.
getting back to us. And then we reach back out to the community member, and here's, we
Yep.
handle this situation, and we talk to Mr. Hoball, and what we can tell them, we tell them, and what's, not information they need to know, and then,
Yep.
but we've built that community respect, and so if someone
Mhm.
comes to me, they know I'm gonna take care of it.
Yep.
With going through the proper chain of commands, and that's what
Yes.
you mentioned, is going through those chain of commands
Yep.
and knowing I'm not gonna go, storm North Salem Elementary
Yep.
and say, this needs fixed and this
Yep.
needs fixed, because, well, now, you talked about, what's best for them and,
Yep.
and, being seen, making them feel seen and heard, but also
Yep.
maintaining that professionalism
Yep.
and leading by our example. So, and we've learned a lot, and I know I have and JD,
Oh.
we've been on the board together the entire time, and
Yep.
understanding exactly what a school board member does. And
Yep.
it's not going in and firing this person and hiring this
Yep.
person, it's taking care of the superintendent and giving him what he needs
Yep.
and supporting him in his decisions,
Yep.
so then we can govern the
Yep.
whole school district.
Mhm.
We have a very educational job.
Yeah, we
Learning all
learn
the time.
we're learning all the time,
Yep. Yep.
yeah,
A lot of things that we learned.
that I didn't know, and
Yeah.
I've been a teacher for 15 years.
Yep.
And so this is a
It's very
complete,
enlightening.
very
Yeah,
enlightening.
I'm sure.
And knowing that having someone wrong in one of those positions affects everything.
Okay.
Oh,
And having a strong
Yes.
leader, and so
Yep.
that's why when we chose Mr. Hoball, it was hands down the best decision we've ever
Yep.
made, because
Yep.
he's been in our school corporation for 20 years.
Yep.
So I think placement of people is very important.
Yep.
In order to,
and it's been proven repeatedly since we hired you.
yeah,
Yep.
repeatedly.
Yep.
Yes. What other questions do you have for us?
We'll just off of that a little bit. I don't know if you guys have heard of Scott Flood. I tried to do as much research for this before in prep, and I've always had a little bit of an idea. Obviously, my dad was here for a little bit,
Sure.
so I know the ins and outs a little bit. But he was a school board member over at Plainfield for 23 years, I think. So I've been in contact with him a little bit just to get an outside perspective. But
Sure.
one of the main things he told me that you kind of just touched on there is, a lot of the time with these elections, you don't know what a school board member really does, right? So, and he was very forward with me, almost discouraging to me about about running for this. He wanted to make sure I truly knew what I was getting myself into. So I do think I've got a pretty good idea. I know there's a lot of applicants who probably have more experience in this than I do. I know Jim personally, I know Ron pretty personally, so I know they've been on this stuff. They've
Sure.
been right in it, but.
But you know
Yeah.
what? You can't move forward and we can't become better community members if we don't try new things.
Yep.
And so the fact that you know that there's applicants who
Mhm.
have education experience and
Yep.
have been a leader in our
Yep.
in our school district, that you applied really speaks to your character.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely. We can't move forward and continue to grow if we have the same people in these positions.
Yep.
And so getting a younger generation, we have a couple applicants who are younger,
Mhm.
and to
That's good to
me,
hear,
that's
too.
bravery.
Yep.
I didn't do this until I was in my
Mhm.
40s.
Yep.
And so to me, stepping up shows that, you know, when we need the next, and
Appreciate
that's
that.
what you have to have. In order to continue to grow,
Mhm.
and our community is growing and changing so much,
Mhm.
we have to have these younger people who are ready to come in and lead, and they're ready to
Yep.
step up. Because if not, then you're gonna have 70-year-old members on your
Mhm.
board, and that's
Yeah.
not productive.
Yeah,
And so,
exactly.
and the same with the legislation, you
Yep.
know, the legislator we need younger people,
Mhm.
and, you know, who know
Yep.
what's going on currently in 2026, raising families, living, trying to get
Mhm.
jobs and all those
Yep.
things, and so
Yep.
I admire you stepping up and
I
putting your
appreciate
best
that.
foot
It's
forward.
encouraging to see more alumni.
Mhm.
One
Yeah.
of them.
And that's another whole facet to this.
Yep, and I think, I mean, I always think community involvement is a big tell for how things are going at a school corporation.
Yep.
And you can see that at all levels, whether it's sporting attendance,
Yep.
just involvement with clubs at school, whatever it might be. So yeah, I think, like you said, I'm not gonna say it's encouraging that I'm doing this, but I do think there's a lot of people my age who care about the future of the community.
You have
People-
to.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And I'm not there yet, but I've got plenty of friends who are married and they're getting to the point where they're gonna have kids in the district, so that's just another reason.
Sure, you care about your friends and you want the
Exactly.
best for their children who you
Yep.
know will be attending our schools, and so,
Yep.
yeah.
And you're from here, so you have
Mhm.
a vested interest,
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
you
Yep.
came from your.
It's my plan to stay here, but
Well, good.
Good.
I can't predict the future. but-
Well, nobody can, I
Yeah.
wish. Add that to your list, Mr. Hobart.
Ridiculous.
Predicting the
Yeah.
future. He doesn't have much
Get the
going on,
magic
he can
eight
add it to
ball
his
first,
list, yeah. So, but no, I appreciate you doing this and putting yourself out there, and
Mhm.
It's very encouraging because
it is.
I don't wanna do this forever.
Mhm.
No, I
Yeah.
think I can speak for all of them, but we were very pleased with the amount
Yeah.
that applied
Mhm.
and,
Yes.
and the differences of everybody that
Yeah.
applied. We've got a very good,
Yeah,
you know,
I
Yes.
mean,
portfolio.
it's great to have diversity in it, and
Absolutely.
I think you guys are a pretty diverse group overall. Again, I tried to do my research on all this, so
Yes, did you find anything really interesting
No,
about us?
I didn't.
Why you better
Shoot.
than
I know, maybe I don't know what, I don't know what you found out
Facebook's
about us.
talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go way back, Jamie.
Oh,
Yeah.
believe me, I went way back before I ran for the board, because, like you,
Uh-huh.
this is what we do. This
Yep.
is the current generation, or the current times that we live in.
Exactly.
You wanna know something about someone, you check their social media.
It's a lot easier than it used to be, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
you probably know more, I mean, do you know my social security number? I can give you any. But, no, you're
Yep.
exactly right, and that's what
Yep.
we do now to find knowledge. You go back in someone's social
Uh-huh.
media, you know, who are we mutual friends with? Well, I'm gonna call
Yep.
them because they seem to know her too,
Yep.
and then I know them, and I try, you
Yep.
know? I mean, this is
And
how
I'm
you.
glad you did your homework, because
Me
you
too.
might have, investigated us and decided, oh, I don't wanna.
No,
sit on
we
that
do
board.
not.
I feel so
Yeah.
very humble, actually.
Or
You're the-
oldies, they're old.
But-
Well,
Yes.
no, I know I talked to some of you on the phone. I told my dad about.
Oh, yes, did you?
He didn't even. I obviously had no idea. It was far before my time.
Yes.
But yeah, they had a full conversation about going back to those days. So
Yes.
that took up
Well,
some
what it
time in our
was is
house.
Rusty was this is my child brain, but Rusty was pastor over at Montclair Christian Church.
Okay.
And my Leather's grandparents, that's where we went to church when I was little, so I've known Rusty for a
Mhm.
million years. And he was young pup when he was doing that, so, but my family's always regarded him in high standing, so, yes, it was
He
nice to see
appreciates
him.
that.
Yes, absolutely.
And I know a little bit back in the Claremont days.
That's right,
Your
you attended
family as
church,
well.
and I
Yeah.
helped you when you were just a
Oh, my.
baby
Yeah.
in the nursery, and.
It's
oh, you
a
were
it's a
so
small world. I think I
It
started to
really
figure that
is.
out throughout all this.
Yeah.
Everybody's connected out here,
They
which
are.
is it's a good thing.
It
This
is.
is a challenging task we have.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And you don't realize that not everyone lives the same as you.
yep,
You know, where I work, and I tell everyone how close everyone is in the community, and they are just
Mhm.
floored by it.
yep,
And so, you know, that I'm related to this person, that's their cousin's uncle's twin, and
yep,
and people don't live like that.
Uh-huh.
And so the fact that, you know,
Yep.
our families are so connected for generations,
yep,
it really speaks to what it means to be a member of the
Yep.
Northwest Hendricks School Corporation.
I agree.
And so, yes.
And you guys do have a tough task right now. It's not
Yes.
easy for board members to vote in somebody when somebody's still got 3 years left on a term. And, but that's the reason you guys were voted into this
Yeah.
position. Community knows you'll make the right decision, whoever that ends
We
up
know
being.
it.
It's,
So,
it's
yeah,
definitely something I never anticipated.
yep,
Yeah, right. But
yeah,
that's what life is all
That's the
about.
way it is, though.
yep,
Roll with the punches and do the
Exactly.
best, and
yeah,
when you lay your head on your pillow at night, I know I made the best decisions for everyone included.
Yep.
So, yes. I know Ms. Robel told you, but early next week we'll be making our decision. You'll hear from us regardless. And that's another thing of
Mhm.
doing this, and, you know, when you have an interview anywhere, I
Yep.
expect to get a phone call from
Yep,
the person,
exactly.
regardless of the decision. So I will be calling you,
Okay.
Jamie Thompson will pop up on your
Perfect.
ring again, so
Alright.
yes. But any other questions for us?
I think I am mostly good. I think I've got a little bit better of an idea on everything. And
Good,
I
good,
appreciate you guys giving me the interview. I
absolutely.
think I got less nervous as we went on. So,
Yeah.
That was the whole agenda.
perfect.
Or for semi-normal people. Well,
As far as I can tell,
Well,
like we said, I did the research and I
yeah,
still
you
think they're
know, I
normal.
mean,
So.
that's good, that's good.
Still came in, didn't you?
Yeah, you
Exactly.
didn't scare you off too much. Yes.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it. It's good seeing you.
Thank you for playing.
Yep.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you so much.
Yes.
It was good to see you
Yeah.
again.
Thank you.
Yes, but she's not holding you this
I
time.
know, yeah, you're not as little as you were back then.
Stay safe out there. Thank you.
Thank you. We are gonna go to executive session.
evening.
Hello. How are you?
Glad you shaved.
Jamie?
Glad you shaved.
Any questions?
Shaved.
Oh, statement, yeah.
Formality, I know you know all of us, but I'm Jamie Thompson, Board President.
J.D. Love, VP.
Emily, Police Secretary.
Brad Williams, member.
Perfect. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Alexander. And here is our first question for you. How would you handle disagreements among board members or with the superintendent?
Disagreements will happen. You like to all get on the same page, but when you do have a disagreement, you just gotta communicate, and you've got to understand where everybody else is coming from. And sometimes it takes a little bit of a disagreement to make you think out of the box and think about how others are viewing a situation that you might not agree with, but at the end of the day, you've got to figure out how you can use that situation and move forward to best implement for the best case scenario for the school corporation.
Mhm. Very good.
What does ethical leadership look like to you in a school board role?
Be very similar to my company. I mean, have all eyes on you. I mean, you make a bad decision and it's gonna, the only difference between my company and the school board is it's gonna affect more than just me and my family. It's gonna affect the whole school corporation. So when you're out making decisions and talking to people, you gotta make sure your P's and Q's are right. I mean, there's situations you can't talk to people about. There's situations you should not be talking to people about.
Mitch, how would you use your position as a school board member to inspire other students, parents, educators, and community members to invest time and talents in supporting their youth?
I love this school corporation, and you've got to make others feel welcome. You gotta make them feel engaged. You gotta make them, you can't always make them understand where you're coming from or how to get involved and make the best of an experience, but at the end of the day, I want every student to feel the way I do after my time I spent in the district.
Hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah.
I love this district. I mean, I have so many great memories from here, and hence why I'm still here, and my
Correct.
children will go here.
Same here.
Yeah.
It's really nice having an alumni.
Yes, it really
I
is.
mean, this is, a lot of these questions are easy, because I love the school, and I love my time here, so I want to make others have the same experience as I did. And I think that was because we had good leadership from the top, way down, teachers, from, I had Rambus for a minute, I
Yeah.
had Rusty King
Yeah.
for a while, I think I might even had Philbin for maybe a year there at the very end.
Probably, yeah.
I graduated in 13, I think it might have been Philbin's. Yeah.
Yep, Dave's saying,
Yeah.
yep, I agree with you.
What does a positive school culture look like to you? And what role does the school board play in shaping it?
I think a lot of that comes from engagement. People feeling like they know what's going on and they know how they can get connected and get involved. And as school board members, we just gotta make sure that there's so many things we could do to make people feel involved. I've been, I don't know if this is a school board thing, but I've been to Donuts with Dad. I don't have a kid in the school, but I went with a family member to that, and that's a great program. I mean, those kinds of things, getting people in the school that wouldn't always be in the school. Like, I haven't walked many.
Good.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was. Good speakers too.
Good, and you are fully invested because you have two little
Yeah.
ones.
I have two little ones. I got four nieces,
Yeah.
four nieces in the district currently,
Yeah,
and I've got two nephews in the
Yeah.
district currently.
so, yes, we know where your alarms,
Yeah.
like being right.
Blue.
Blue and gold.
Oh.
Blue and yellow was before my time.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
you're showing your.
You are, tuck that age in, tuck that
As
age
a
in.
board member, are you capable of leaving your personal bias or beliefs at the door and coming into a meeting with an open mind?
You have to on a board like this. You can't always sit there bring your personal, I mean, there are situations where you will wanna take your personal belief, but you gotta do what's best for the school corporation at the end of the day. I mean, that's who we're serving, is our school corporation.
Mhm. What do you see as the biggest challenges facing our district over the next 5 to 10 years?
Financial health is number one.
Yes, sir.
My second one would be teacher and staff retention. And my third one is communication and connection with the community. Financial health, obviously Senate Bill 1, they keep changing it. They keep taking our money from us and putting it in different places, and we're trying to, Dave's been navigating, trying to figure out how.
Well said, that's the best
That's
answer
the
I've
best,
heard.
that is.
Trying to
Best
figure,
answer.
I mean,
Put it somewhere else.
every time you get shifted,
It's
you're
not
trying to
like-
figure out how you're gonna get,
Yep.
how are we gonna come back from this? And he's done a great job. I mean, there's been some cuts that aren't easy to make, and I'm sure he'd love to have an assistant superintendent, but right now, the funds just aren't there for it. And I feel like he's done a good job making some necessary, really tough
Yeah,
decisions,
really,
because
yeah.
we've lost some really good people.
I know, but, yeah, it's tough.
And then when we go to staff retention, I mean, luckily, through school, I had, a lot of those teachers were there for a very long time. And it makes things easier, because you don't have them right now, but you see them in the hallway. So you feel comfortable with those people, and it made my situation in school years much better. But we just gotta figure out ways to keep those people in our buildings.
Yeah.
And community connection, like I said earlier, you just gotta make people wanna be involved. Sometimes I feel like they need to be more involved in these meetings. We should have more people in these meetings. They have opinions. They need to come in here and understand why decisions are being made. A lot of the funding that happened for all the new athletic facilities. A lot of people were freaking out, saying, well, how do we not have money to repair a roof, but we had money to do that for all those fields? Well, they're two different pots. And a lot of people don't understand there's a few different pots to pull from. And I think if people were connected, they'd understand more.
You're right, they would.
How can the school district better partner with local businesses to provide real-world learning experiences?
I think there just needs to be more outreach to local business. I feel like a lot of local businesses haven't even been contacted by the school corporation. And I think a lot of them would have open arms to showing people what's going on. I mean, there's a dying need for trade people right now. You can't find them. And a lot of these kids don't even know that that's out there unless their parent or an uncle or somebody else is in a trade. They don't understand that these opportunities are out there. And I think just with a little outreach from, whether it be the school board, teachers, somebody needs to reach out to some of these businesses, because I think they'd be like, yeah, there needs to be another generation. You could even go to agriculture. I mean, which we've done a great job, the FFA program, a great program, and I'd love to see that, the great success. I wish it was here when I was here. I just couldn't stomach going down to Danville and being in that building to go to FFA, so I didn't. But
And your allegiance is strong.
but yeah,
That's it, no.
No.
yeah.
No.
So if we reach out to some of these businesses, I think there could be some really good programs.
I agree.
that open people's, because college isn't the fit for everybody.
Correct. And I think that we're starting to see that more and more. We're in a very changing time. What someone called it something earlier, just everything around us is changing.
It is.
Yes, and are
Very
we gonna
different.
evolve with it, or are we gonna stay back in the past?
Yeah.
So, thank you, great answer.
What is the appropriate way for a board member to communicate concerns about district leadership?
Repeat your question, Brad?
What is the appropriate way for a board member to communicate concerns about district leadership?
I would think, I don't actually think I have the perfect answer to this, but I would think we've got to get in contact with the other board members about district leadership. And if it's not the superintendent's leadership we're looking at, I think the first person you gotta go to is Dave. Because Dave's in charge of everybody underneath of Dave. I mean, he's gotta handle all the teachers. That's not our position. So if it's dealing with a teacher, it's gotta go to Dave. And and Dave has to handle that, that's part of Dave's job.
Good answer, yeah. Yep, and thank you that, because sometimes people, including myself, when you don't know what a board member does, you know, and we've learned a lot on the job.
Oh,
all four of them. And, but it is nice, because when you don't know, you don't know. So I'm glad to hear that you do know that we don't manage the teachers, we manage that man right over there.
We got a good one.
But then also you consult your board members.
Yes,
That's good.
yes, I like that you said that, because we are a team.
Yeah.
Even if we don't agree on everything, we
Yeah.
work together as a team, which you said is, you have to, you know,
You gotta communicate.
Very important.
communicate, yep, in all relationships and all parts of business and everything. Good, yes. Do you have any questions for us?
I do not. I want to thank you guys for your time and consideration. Love this school, would love the position. If it's not me that's chosen, I know you guys picked a phenomenal candidate.
Yes. Thank you.
But I really appreciate your guys' time.
I
and
appreciate you, we were just talking about this, is thank you, how old are you? I know.
31.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
31.
I didn't put you at 30 yet.
29.
I wish I would, but I
Well, it just makes me feel really old that you're 31 and I'm 31 and I don't know how that works out.
Right?
I'm sure.
Lunch with him.
I remember when he was in a,
you substitute top.
oh, no, Mitchell, I'm
Sorry.
sorry. But in all seriousness, it really speaks high of your character that you are 31 years old. And I know when I was 31 years old, this was the last thing I was thinking about. So that because you know that we have to invest in our future, and if you want the best thing for your kids, then you have to put your foot out, and you have to be the one who makes that change. And so it really speaks highly of you that this is something that you're interested in, being so young and knowing the importance of it. And if we don't do it, nobody else will.
Yeah.
And then we'll end up not wanting to raise our children here because it won't be as great as we remember it. And we all had such a great childhood, great school, and it's reflective when you sit on the board, and
It's encouraging.
so, yes.
I mean, it's just, I haven't been able to give back in this way yet. I
Sure.
mean, this would be the first board that I've sat on.
Great.
Some of them because I wanted to sit on Pittsburgh board so bad, but I don't live in town limits, so I can't get on that board.
I know, it's hard when you don't live in town limits and you wanna do things.
I wanted on there so bad, but I've been able to give back in a lot of different ways,
Sure.
but this is a different way that I'm really, would be encouraged to.
Well, I know who's going on my community outreach list. I know who's going on my community outreach list.
Yeah, give me a call.
Yeah.
I've got all the flexibility in the world.
Yeah, so if we have kids wanting to get in trades and such and do what you want to
Yeah.
do, speed dial.
Tell them to come this week, and they'll find out how fun it is digging ditches when it's cold and the ground's hard and
Yeah.
2-foot throws, and it's a
Yeah.
great
Yeah,
time.
I'm sure you'll make their minds up real quick.
Yeah.
It was fun at 7 this morning, trying to get an
Yeah.
excavator.
Oh,
You miss your cows?
I do not miss my livestock at all. Nope.
so you're no
I
cows,
mean-
you, not just, but you are your business, you don't
Yep.
cows anymore.
Nope, I run
Which I
Alexander
saw that in
Contractors.
2020 is when you dropped your cows.
Yep,
It was
Yep,
on your resume.
I just, one of those that livestock's fun, and I really like getting, drive by JD's and just watch
Yeah,
them do it.
look at that. Well, that tank looks like it's frozen.
I'm gonna keep driving.
Me too. Well, so, there's a cow out.
It was
Look,
on the
I'm
news
like,
report last night at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, and I'm getting texts, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm cold reading
Babies
texts.
being born and, yeah.
Yes.
no, thank you.
It'll be warm, and we'll be complaining how warm it is.
Yeah.
You're right. Give us 6 months and we'll be, it's so high.
I don't know, this little stint here is gonna
You ever
wear
pick
me
one?
out.
Yeah. Well, I could use a sunburn, that's what I've been saying. I'd give me a sunburn and a mosquito bite.
Yep.
I'm ready. Yeah. I think they gave you the spiel.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
But we will be reaching out early next week, regardless of the decision we make, but that's what you do in an interview. So you'll be having to hear from me again
Okay.
early next week at some point. And just thank you.
I appreciate your guys'
Been
time.
Really nice
Thank
to
you.
sit here and talk
Thank
to
you,
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mitch.
Thanks, Mitch.
Thanks.
JD,
You're welcome.
Jamie, thanks, everybody.
Thanks. And I'm gonna put us in executive session. accepted.
Right on.
Hey, we don't even get you guys out of here. That's better, right?
Hi.
Hello, hello. Hi, Brad. It's nice to meet you. Jake, nice to meet you. Hi. Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Hi, how are y'all?
Good, how are you? We brought beautiful weather for you. We were hoping it would be up.
My hands are freezing.
Yeah.
She exaggerates.
I did get my driveway plate plowed just so I could come here.
Good, same here,
Nice.
you know. It's like, I guess I'll get out, okay, yeah.
It took us a long time, I'm sure it took you guys a little bit of time too, didn't it?
Oh, well, actually, Josh is our
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Josh was like, "Can you
Thank you. Formalities, I'm Jamie Thompson, board president.
J.D. Bud, Vice President.
Emily, please, secretary.
Brad Williams, member.
So, first of all, thank you for coming, and thank you for expressing interest in this position. First question, how will you handle disagreements among board members or with the superintendent?
Absolutely. So I think it's important to determine the disagreement. Is it preference or is it policy? Because I think you handle those two different ways. If it's a preference, then understanding that person's perspective, while you may not agree with it, taking that into consideration and asking questions. Because I think the more you know about things, the more you can understand why somebody's maybe thinking the way they are, taking things into consideration the way they are, learning history, their experiences, whatnot. Again, you may not agree with it, but if you can understand it, I think it's a little bit easier to process. But with that being said, I also think it's really important that the board, no matter what the decision is always forward-facing and aligned in integrity with the community. That builds trust, that builds reliability within the community, and knows that there's a level of transparency that is taking place, that can take place. Obviously, there are things that can't be discussed that happen in certain sessions, but if you can build trust in knowing that we're all on the same page and whatever somebody asks Emily, the answer is very similar to what they get from Brad, to what they get from Jamie. That's going to build transparency and trust within the community. So when you do say, I can't really talk about that, I can't really discuss that, they'll respect that more.
Well, thank you.
Okay, what does ethical leadership look like to you in a school board role?
Absolutely. So I am a big ethical person. I think it is influenced by our history, by our understanding, by what we've experienced. And while my ethical guidelines may differ from someone else's, they need to align with the school expectations, with the community expectations, and presenting myself in a manner where someone knows that when I look at Megan and I know she's representing this is how I can expect her to respond. I know I can go to her and talk to her about this. Removing personal opinions, removing personal investments in those types of decisions, I think is really important.
Good, thank you.
Megan, how do you use your position as a school board member to inspire other students, parents, educators, and community members to invest time and talents in supporting our youth?
Absolutely. So I am a servant leader. That's how I define myself in all the roles that I have been in. I always, just thinking from like a business standpoint, when you think about an org chart, I don't think of myself being at the top down. I think of myself as bottom up to help hold everybody else up. And when people see that, they want to join, right? It's a natural gravitation of, that's cool, I want to do what she's doing, that's me, I want to join in. And so I think it's a lead by example, and then once you kind of get them hooked, not in a manipulative way, but once they see that, hey, you want to help me with this? We're going to be doing this, and then slowly getting their buy-in in that way versus trying to get them to grab on full-fledged, you know what I mean? Hey, we're going to be up there Saturday doing this, you want to join us? Yeah, and then you hook them in, this is fun, we're going to do it, a couple weeks, we're going to join us again. And so I think shaping it up to that, to build that, that level of investment.
Good, thank you.
What does a positive school culture look like to you, and what role does the school board play in shaping it?
So I will say the job of the board is not to be in the day in, day out managerial. The job of the board is to govern and to oversee, and the job of the superintendent is to put those policies and procedures in action. And I think, no pressure on the superintendent, but those actions can really play into that culture piece. But I will also say the way that the policies are communicated and delivered, and the enthusiasm or how it's communicated plays into that culture right? Like if we have to have a longer school day, right, it's gonna be all about the delivery. It's not gonna be about necessarily the policy, but also helping people understand the policy behind it.
Yes.
I think positive culture is one where people all wanna come, where people all wanna have a desire to lead and feel like they fit in somewhere. It may not be at the top of the leadership, but at some aspect, they feel like they can grow, they feel like they can contribute in a place, and they can give feedback without feeling like they're gonna be chastised for it or whatnot, right? Like, feedback is good. It doesn't, even poor feedback, like, there's something behind it. And so when we can take that into consideration, you know, I hear you, I understand where you're coming from, may not be able to do anything about it, but if they know they can come and voice that without judgment, I think is really important. It builds culture too.
Yeah.
Good, thank you.
As a board member, are you capable of leaving a personal bias or beliefs at the door and coming to meetings over mine?
Absolutely. I will give you an example. In my job and the roles that I have performed in working with kids with autism, I have worked with hundreds of families, and there are definitely times where my personal views or perspectives don't always align with that family's.
Sure.
And I have to respect, I am the subject matter expert of treating that child, they are the subject matter expert of that child. And
That's a
how
good way
can
to put it,
I
yeah.
help support them in the things that they want to accomplish, obviously keeping their child safe and whatnot. But how can my skills and gifts help support what they're trying to accomplish, even though I may not feel like it's the best path, like goal for their child, I can help them get there with my skill sets and gifts.
Good.
How does the board ensure that decisions remain student-centered while relying on the expertise of district leadership and staff?
That's a good question. Will you say it again?
Yes, I know.
That's a long question.
How does the board ensure that decisions remain student-centered while relying on the expertise of district leadership and staff?
Absolutely. So I think at the end of the day, the primary focus is the student, and that decision-making and how we're getting there, it should always relate back to how it's benefiting the student. So, you know, if it's, again, longer school day, not that I'm promoting this.
Send it far.
I mean, I love my kids, but.
Take
way
a couple more hours.
But just how is that gonna benefit the kid? And how is that, you know, how does that impact, you know, teacher morale? Is that, because that's also gonna impact the child too, not just necessarily minutes within the building. So really relating all of those things that are taken into consideration, how it's impacting the student, but also if it's an indirect impact, how's it impacting the teachers? Like, is it increasing their stress level or decreasing their stress level? Because that's indirectly impacting the student.
Good, thank you.
Okay, what guardrails are in place to prevent conflicts of interest when board members have professional experience in education-related fields?
So what guardrails are in place to prevent, say that again?
What guardrails are in place to prevent conflicts of interest when board members have professional experience in education-related fields?
Okay. So I do think that while, I would speak about myself personally, I do have background in education and educational related fields. I understand what would be impactful or maybe a barrier to the education that is from my field. I also know that, like, they're two different things, right? So some of the things I do within my experience in private practice don't apply to students or don't apply to education. For example, the medical field that I've worked in is, we always have a medical necessity piece. Like, what we're working on with kids with autism has to do with their medical diagnosis. It doesn't have to do with their educational need. Educational need is completely different. And so knowing and understanding what those guardrails are, they could come in aspect of a law, they could come in aspect of a policy. But really understanding those and being aware of them, and even if you're not aware of them, doing your due diligence to investigate to make sure. And having resources and mentors that you can kind of go to and talk like, okay, I think this, but poke holes in it if I'm wrong, or help me know if there's questions I should be asking but I'm not.
Good.
Thank you.
How do you view the importance of ongoing training and attending educational seminars for school board members to remain informed, effective, and accountable leaders?
Absolutely. So I will be the first to say, should I be in a role such as this, I will listen more than I speak. Because I know there are going to be curveballs, there's going to be a big learning curve when it comes to the different responsibilities and understanding that comes into it. And I think in any role, regardless of what board you're sitting on, regardless of what career you're in, best practice is to continue to grow, because the world is changing, fields are changing, technology is coming in, AI, there's all kinds of different things impacting our world in different ways. Even in the agriculture industry, you know, you've got so much technology now that we didn't have even when I was in high school.
Sure.
And so I think it's best practice for us to, as humans, as people, as parents, to stay ahead of the game as much as we can. And
Active.
and being able to address those things and know that I don't know it all. And I'm gonna do my best to try to learn it all, but it's probably not gonna be accomplished, so.
But it's that mindset, yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Yep, perfect. Good. Any questions that you have for us?
So what do you guys feel like in the next 3 years are your big, I don't say pain points, but big barriers that you guys maybe are gonna have to work on or overcome as a board?
Money,
Huh?
money,
Money?
State
Standard.
legislature.
Okay.
yeah. Money.
Yeah, and then,
How are we gonna, keep teachers, how are we
Yep.
going to,
yep,
obviously we're gonna have to make some tough decisions if, money's cut, which then who are we gonna have to, who or what are we gonna have to cut?
yep.
And then,
What does that
obviously,
look
how does
like?
that look like for the community, like what are we gonna have,
Mhm.
you know, to communicate with the community, what are we gonna have to ask the community for? And so, those are the big things coming at us in the next
Yeah.
3 years or so.
They're biggies.
Yeah, yeah.
Always about money, doesn't it?
It's always.
Okay.
And more so now than ever because of the way the legislature changed everything on how we can budget.
Such a big shift for our community and like, you know, especially our generation and then Brad's as well, but, you know, it's just been such a shift. And so people who are raising their children here now, that we went to from kindergarten to 12th grade and seeing that shift and not really, you know, totally understanding it and how it's gonna impact our or like our children, because we wanted to raise our children here. And what does that mean for us? And so that's why,
It feels like every time we think we have a handle on it, they move the goalposts.
Yeah.
Every time.
yeah.
Mhm.
And then Dave tirelessly does this and that and shows us this and that, and it's like, oh yeah, never mind. Oh, okay, okay, show us the new one, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just a tough place to be in.
What do you guys feel are soft skills and hard skills for the person that's going to be filling this role you would like to see?
Good question.
Good
That
question.
is a really good question. Go ahead. I mean, communication, you know, and understanding different personalities. You know, all four of us have very different personalities, and and understanding each other and where our best interest lies, you know. Some of us, not to point fingers, have very assertive personalities, and how to understand that. And whereas it's not an attack, but, you know, we've all grown up and known each other for many, many moons, and so, but it's understanding each other and knowing everyone has the same intentions. We all have skin in the game and understanding how that looks different than each other, but understand, communication. I would say communication's a big one.
But I think you hit on a big one, was always willing to learn and always knowing you don't know it all. And so always just trying to reach out for more information and attend conferences and seminars and try and learn what's coming down the pike and talk to the community, background communication, learn from your community. And what are we lacking? What are we, you know, needing to improve? Those kinds of things. And so always being willing to.
And what I lack, he knows. And what he lacks, he knows, and she knows because she did it once, you know, and it's using every part of ourselves to make this job work.
It's a balance that makes for a very good team. It's a very educational job.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
I
yes.
learned something every time. I've been on here a long time.
Right?
Right?
It's been a hard, not hard, it's been a very learning.
We got enlightened to a lot together in our
Yeah.
rotation.
Yeah, I mean, we've been together for almost 4 years, and so it's just, we've grown a lot. Professional and understanding and what it means to be a board member and the growing pains, and we've seen each other in many different lights than we ever did growing up, so.
Well,
Don't say.
It goes back to that assertive.
Assertive gets stuff done. Good questions. Any other?
What would you guys like to see, or what, I guess, what are your plans for this individual coming into the role, and it may vary based on selection, of how to help them kind of hit the ground running, obviously, because there's one year already in, but there's, right, quarter of the race is done, there's three more
Yes.
laps to go.
Yep.
So what would that look like?
I'd say we have as many meetings as you know, the person would need to get caught up, because we have a lot of, we have a lot of knowledge, and Dave has a lot of knowledge of what's going on with all the finances and everything. So we would try to get the person caught up as fast as,
Yeah.
to make your job easier,
Because it's a lot.
That's the thing. Yeah, it's a lot.
You know,
So
and just when you think you understand,
the
then
more you're informed, the better you are.
Yeah.
But
So,
the person willing to be open to learn and go.
And what we were talking about, so we have a conference we're attending February 6th, and another one February 17th. So we'd really like the new board member to attend these conferences with us, because it's all through the ISBA. They give a lot of information, and you learn so much from them. And then getting you set up with ISBA and to do the webinars, and you share, you network, you find out what other schools are doing. It's very, very important. So your first year on the board, you really need to be attending a lot of conferences and stuff, which I know people have full-time jobs, and, things come up and you can't do all those things, but really through the ISBA, trying to understand, especially with the legislature right now, the way it is, understanding what's coming down the pipe and how we can best prepare for that, so.
Do you guys, I know obviously we talked about, superintendent's job is to be the putting things into action, but do you guys ever kind of show your faces at the schools and whatnot, so people know who you are, to kind of build that relationship and rapport as well? Would that be something would be expected?
Yes, the most we can. And so our children are active and still doing things, so we're out and about, but I think just, I share a lot of things on Facebook, on my school board page, and so I hope people view that as, kind of a community, even if it's something for LifeWise, or it's something that Mr. Hoball sent out. But I feel like that's important, and, and because that is somewhere that, everybody looks and things, but just attending the events, yes, and, and all of them, and so I think that's very important. It's because I saw Jamie there. Oh, you did? Did you talk to her about? Yeah, and so I want people to come up to me and talk to me and all those things. So yeah, I do think it's important our faces out. So, yes.
I don't have any more questions. I'm sure I'll have them tonight when I'm leaving.
You are.
Today, like 11 o'clock. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I should ask that.
Oh, always. And you wake up at 2 a.m. Is that right? I write everything down.
I just actually learned the other day that even, my daughter won't stop calling me, actually, this is what she does, she just blows my phone up.
But
the
busy
other-
or anything.
No, I'm not.
You're not busy.
But that, whenever you go to bed at night and you think of all the texts you need to send, that you can actually like set a reminder to do
You know
it
how to do
later.
that?
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Then I gotta remember my reminder. That's my problem.
I will set up text, so-and-so's birthday's in 3 days, well, I'm not gonna remember in 3 days, so I set a time, and it'll send, happy birthday, Emily, and then I'll be like, oh, it's her birthday, but you schedule the text just like you can schedule an email.
wow.
Yeah.
It is.
But it doesn't work on everyone, I think that's Android users.
Huh, interesting,
Yeah.
interesting.
Are you an Android user?
I'm not.
Oh.
Oh, okay, that's,
Okay.
I'm adding that,
We
I'm
should
adding
start
that
asking
to
that
it.
question.
We should have.
Actually, like, yes.
Because Mr. Hobart is an Android user,
Oh, no.
and I'm working through it. I don't think, I'm working through it. It was a deciding factor when we hired him, but I'm working through it.
I am Mac through and through, and my parents have PCs, and they ask me to fix things.
And you
I'm
can't.
like, I feel like I have to learn how to walk again. I don't even know where this is at.
That's
Like,
my wife, she's a Mac user, I can't stand it.
No.
Because
Luckily, these two are iPhone users, which makes me like them even more because.
But I never answered.
I have not.
That's true, he doesn't answer that.
I don't want
green, it's Jamie, right?
You do, yeah,
I see it.
nah, nah. She'll tell me again tomorrow.
Yeah. Are you listening to me? Getting a complex.
I am.
She likes to send texts a lot.
Communication.
Yes, see?
It's good.
You're in the middle of giving a kid a bath or at a
Yeah.
ball game. Or
Yeah,
yes,
that's right.
Yes. Or I'll voice it and it'll sound really bad and I'm like,
Those are.
read between the
Those
lines.
are entertaining.
Yeah, read between the lines, you understand the gist of what
It's
I'm
wrong
saying.
there, Jamie. It's T-H-E-R-E.
Today I said something about assessments to a coworker and I said, well, this assessment, it came out assassins.
Oh, well,
Well,
yeah, that has a totally different meaning.
I bet that went over rather easy.
Yeah.
and I told him, I'm like, well, hopefully you know I meant assessments and not, we're not gonna assassinate. We'll see, I'll keep you posted. Good. And like Mr. Hobart told you, beginning of next week, we'll be in contact and kind of go from there. Thank you so much for applying.
Thank you.
Thank you
Drive
so much.
safely, I'm sure.
Yes, is it getting
Let me
bad?
take the long way home just to get.
Oh, just to
home
get
with my kids. At home with my kids this Saturday.
Right?
I'm like, oh.
Yes. Whoa,
Maybe I'll tell
drive.
Chad you're
Thank you guys, I
actually
appreciate it.
to her.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thanks, Megan.
Thank you for coming.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna put us into an executive session. That-
Forgot to do
Wow.
that.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I need a second there.
I
Hi.
didn't give her the spiel yet, so you want to do
Oh,
it?
give her the spiel, that's what I pay you big money for.
So, just trying to communicate with everyone the fact that we had 6 people that applied, so they're interviewing all 6 people. After the meeting tonight, they're gonna kind of talk about, you know, what their feelings get to be from this. Then to actually vote somebody in, we have to have a meeting, open meeting, and we're looking for early next week for that. Jamie will be in contact with everybody to let them know one way or the other where they think, because they can't make any decisions outside the meeting, but they can definitely feel a certain direction.
Okay,
So they'll be in contact with that.
sounds good.
Perfect.
Thank you. Nice. Ms. Brown,
Very good, Brad.
nice to meet you. Judy?
Nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you. Good to see you.
Well, thank you so much, sorry, Em, go ahead.
I was gonna say, did you have any trouble getting here with the roads?
They
It
were
was
okay.
good from my house to here.
Good.
I don't take too many country roads, so
Sure.
I can't speak to that. And I asked Jamie, I don't know that my resume really plays into any of this, but I do have
I,
the
we
things
got it.
that were submitted. Okay.
We have.
Mr. Hobart printed all of them for us, so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Been a minute since I've interviewed for anything.
Sure, I get that. I get that. Well, we are glad you are here, and thank you so much for showing interest and putting all your information in. So first question is, how will you handle disagreements among board members or with the superintendent?
That's a good question. I think every day I'm growing in my ability to help resolve conflict
Sure.
and disagreements. So I do think being patient and getting all the information before responding is the most important. I've learned that in my day-to-day role as a provider, working with patients and with your coworkers. So I know working with the public is going to be even more challenging than both of those. So yeah, I think just taking a hard pause is probably the most important.
Good, yeah, good.
Okay, what does ethical leadership look like to you in a school board role?
Much like the other one, getting all the information before you make any type of decision. I think the truth always lies somewhere in the middle. And I think, I come from a culture of yes, I think that figuring out a creative solution, that might take some time, but I think with a little bit of energy and group effort that we can likely halfway please both parties.
Sure.
So, and I think always doing what's right for the students and the teachers would be the ethical side of it. Never having a personal agenda or something that might financially incentivize one way or another.
Good.
Very good. How would you use your position on the school board to inspire other students, parents, educators, community members to invest time and talent in supporting our youth?
I think that me just doing this is stepping outside my comfort zone because I don't like watching social media and all of those things unfold, and then in my husband's role, I see it and I'm like cringing at the thought of stepping out of my comfort zone to do something like this. So I think if I could do it, I could inspire others to do it.
Great
And I
answer.
think it's really important to be the advocate. Brad, I think you came to one of the special education advisory parent committee. And what I think is most interesting about that is it is full of all teachers with students that have children with special needs. I'm the only one that sits around that table that has no education background, and there's a lot of acronyms, and I'll say that I am not someone that's gonna be quick to start saying things. I process a lot and I take in a lot, but I'm finally getting comfortable in that role where I'm happy to speak up. And I think that this would be very similar. I think I'd absorb the information quickly, but I wouldn't be the first to probably speak up. I need some time to get more comfortable with everything. So I think not being in education, I have a big learning curve, but I think that it will show the community that other people that aren't in education can also have
Good point.
a positive impact.
Good point.
Sure.
I know there's so many good things
I know.
I need time to write.
I need a new pen.
What does a positive school culture look like to you? And what role does the school board play in shaping it?
I think that a positive school culture for me personally, really focuses on inclusion. I think academic success is really important, but I think nurturing and growing children that are kind and include everyone will make the world a better place. So I think
Say that again.
yeah. So I think anything we can do that incorporates social activities that, embraces everyone of all abilities, anything we can do that, celebrates their success even though they look differently than those of the neurotypical child. I think the school does an amazing job, but I think there's always room for opportunity.
Always. Once we stop growing or say we can't grow, we're done.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, no, yeah. Great.
As a board member, are you capable of leaving your personal bias and beliefs at the door and coming into a meeting with an open mind?
Yes.
How so?
Like I mentioned earlier, I truly think I'm very good at realizing that the truth lies in the middle, and just because I'm passionate or feel one way about it, I need to respect the other person's opinion and hear it out. And oftentimes, they can persuade me or change their mind, or at least allow me to see their side of the argument.
Very good.
Yeah, you have to be able to be able to budge, and understand multiple perspectives.
It's a tough one because I do it every time I come in. It gets easier.
I know what if someone's coming at me, and that's where
Sure.
Those are the
Sure.
situations. But I know you'll be put in those situations.
Sure. But knowing that you will, and then,
I have grown over my years in nursing started in the ER, which is a really tough and high-paced environment where people are at their worst. And you
Sure.
don't get their best emotions. And I really grew thick-skinned during that time.
I'm sure.
In the last 10 years as a provider, I haven't necessarily had those same type of conflicts or people escalating, but you work with physicians and you know that they can be degrading and condescending and rude. And I recognize that now their anger isn't at me, it's at a situation. So I'm able to take it a little differently than what I did when I was a brand new grad, right?
Sure.
Everything was so personal. Now it's like, I understand why you're angry. I would be mad about that too. Let's calm down, talk about it.
And I think that wisdom comes with age,
Yeah.
experience and all those things.
But usually you all have the same common goal.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
Let's
Yes.
focus back on that.
Yes. Good.
Are you ready?
Yep.
How has your professional background in healthcare shaped the way you advocate for children and families?
I think knowing that patients and children in some situations don't have a voice, or someone that feels confident enough maybe even to speak up, not that they don't feel, that their needs need to be heard, but maybe they just haven't found their voice yet. So I would like to be that resource for people that they feel comfortable coming to speak to me, and then I can bring that information to the people that need to hear it.
Good. How will you ensure that personal experiences enhance rather than bias your decision-making as a board member?
Say that one more time.
I know, right, that's a hard one too. How will you ensure that personal experiences enhance rather than put a bias on your decision-making as a board member?
I do think I am a very optimistic person, and I tend to be more positive and believe the good in people. So I do feel like all my life experience, even though you've been through some hard things, I can reflect on them and see where either personal growth or professional growth has taken place. So I do feel like my personal experiences could enhance it, because on reflection, I can always pull out some type of positive or change that came of it or should come of it. Because we found out there should be some type of process improvement. It didn't go well. Well, let's fix it for the next time.
That's
So that's all I answer that one.
Good. Thank you.
How should the board respond when parents advocate passionately for their own children?
Exactly. I don't know. Not smile and nod, but tell them they're heard, and we'll take their information and figure out the best solution for all parties. not that you care, but when we were doing, they're called surrogate patients in NP school, and they're fake, they're actors. And he was telling his stuff, and I was nodding. And at the end, his feedback was, your smile was condescending and rude. I was like, I never thought in a million years my smile would
Sure.
be condescending. So I learned from that moment.
Oh, boy.
So smiling and nodding is not the most appropriate.
So-
Someone's being
Do a
passionate.
Okay.
Anti-vaxxing was his thing, and I was listening, and
Mhm.
I thought I was empathetically hearing his
Yes,
concern.
yes, I would think so too. but-
Not with a smile.
Okay.
Oh, you're being smart.
So, yeah.
I guess. But I would,
Don't smile at anti-vax.
Oh, and I've learned that a good response is, that is interesting. It doesn't say you're pro or against, so. that is
interesting. That is
Interesting.
interesting.
Oh, that is a good, oh, I
Okay,
like
put that
that.
in our, put that, make
Yeah,
that note
make
for
that
us.
note.
So when I say that to you, oh, no, we're.
I know, right?
Interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
So when we're talking at swim meets and you say, that is interesting, Jamie.
I might really be interested.
I know, right?
Yeah, you'll never know.
I know.
You'll never know.
Be up in the
Because
air.
now she probably won't smile when she
Yeah.
says.
I know,
it.
this way,
Because
that's
she'll try to be
interesting,
like,
Jamie.
It's on the tone, right?
Yes. And on my tone's horrible.
Which tone, inside or outside?
It depends on the day.
I've never seen you not cheerful and happy.
Oh.
Most of the time,
Can't say
Brad
that.
has.
most of the time, yes.
Because sometimes my passion can.
This one gets passionate. I know it's hard to believe.
Good.
I love her for it.
Hopefully for all the right reasons.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's what I
Every
want the
time,
passion.
every time. I love
Emily
it.
and I have the advantage of having grown up with her, so we know it's normal.
Brad's had to learn
Brad, I've had
passion.
to learn, I've got a learning curve on her.
Yes, he's had to have a learning curve and he's had to learn quick. These guys have had 40 years.
Oh, that's
I love
okay.
it.
Yeah, that's just me.
Yeah.
She's hollering because she's mad. Oh no, she's hollering because she's happy.
Yeah.
She's hard because she's cheap.
I love it.
Oh, goodness.
Maybe I'll
Yeah,
become
do you
that.
have?
Do you have any questions for us?
Well, I do not know much about what it requires outside of the
Sure.
meetings and
Sure.
things like that. So share with me your time requirement and, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
It's 24/7.
It's like, you're on the walk.
I'm pretty sure you have free time.
Maybe. You can eat 3 meals a day, but that's
Okay.
it.
No, it's not.
It is, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to make it more. So, we want to be more engaged as a board. So we have new leadership. We've had Mr. Hobel for 6 months or so, and it feels like a lifetime, but it's only been 6 months. And so what we're trying to do is be out in the community more. So we've got a laundry list of things that we would love to do. But our job is to make sure that Mr. Hobel is following protocol, following the policies that we have in place. And so we're responsible for him. We're making sure he's doing everything and then making suggestions to him. He presents things to us and we say yay or nay. And so we work very closely with him. Our job is not to go into Pittsburgh Elementary and fire the second grade teacher because she X, Y, and Z. We don't do, and I didn't know these things, before you're on the board, because you don't know. You don't know. It's like a foreign thing. And so we take care of Mr. Hobel. And so basically making sure he does his job. We don't hire, we don't fire, we don't do any of those things. We are the overseeing body, what was the governing body.
Okay. Now, when he has a concern, he brings it to
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
you.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
we always
And
do.
is there a lot of communication via email, or is it
Yes.
just in the monthly meetings, or?
No, there's communication all the time.
All the above.
Yep.
Yeah.
Email, text.
Mr.
Phone call.
Mr. Hobel sends us a weekly update. And so here's what happened this week, here's what I did this week, I went to this meeting, and he keeps us up to date with everything that we need to know. And he's a communicator, and so.
We've always had weekly updates. He's taken it above and beyond
Mhm.
with things that pop up,
Yes.
The
reaching
word-
out right away.
Yeah.
Last week it was like 3-time communicator.
But that's all right. I mean, more information's better. in
Yes.
Cases like this.
And then I assume, like, with it being a board, like, 3 people respond, and that is considered the majority, or?
Yes, and so,
They're not like a vote on things, it's just like more information.
Yeah,
Like,
we
hey,
don't do any voting online or anything.
No, we can't do
We have to
anything.
do that in a
Nothing
meeting.
like that, but-
It always
yes,
has to be public.
But also, like, he knows that we speak to the community, so he's like, hey, just in case someone, talks to you about this, let me tell you what really happened and what went on. It's
especially
like,
at a
okay.
building that our kids don't go to, and this happened at Pittsburgh Elementary, oh, thank you for telling me, Dave, because if someone came and asked me, I wouldn't know, because my kid's there. you know? And so he keeps us up to date with those things and anything that we, you know, so if someone does ask us, we're informed. And he,
Keep from being caught off guard.
yes, I don't want to be caught off guard.
And the community brings you something, you immediately bring it, or you judge if it can wait till the
Yeah,
next.
yeah, and so it's like, you know, and I talk with the community, but make sure when people reach out to me, it's, okay, I'm gonna speak to Mr. Hopewell about this. Or did you talk to your principal about this, if it's an employee? You know, make sure we're going up the chain of command.
Okay.
And then bring something to Mr. Hopewell, you know, can I have a conversation with you, Dave, about X, Y, and Z? Yep, give me a call, Jamie. And then we talk through things, and then he tells me the background of the situation, you know, cause you talked about.
The truth always lies in the middle somewhere, you're trying to find out, you know, what exactly happened.
And he's very open, you know, it's not Dave's way or the highway. Yeah, it was a good answer, because you're right, it's right there in the middle, and there's always three sides to every story. Mine, yours, and the truth.
Exactly right.
And so that's, yes.
Now, do you find more of like the teachers reach out to you guys or the community?
Both.
Okay.
And I think that's probably because I am an educator, and so people feel that connection, which why wouldn't you? Because we both are in the trenches together, and so, so probably a little bit more teacher on my end, just because
My kids are all out, so I don't get as many as I used to when they were in. So I just don't.
And then like the one day you were setting up for Freddie Fever and stuff, that was not necessarily school, like are those type of things part of school board or is
No.
that?
No.
Okay.
But it's nice to
Be there,
involved and
yes,
be around
absolutely.
and help with things.
Mhm.
So I think being like Mr. Hoball, he's a servant. I mean, he was out plowing sidewalks last night and
Driving
he's
school buses.
and
Yeah,
driving
he
school
does that too.
buses, and
He's adding that to his
getting-
resume.
Yep.
Learn that every day.
So, you know, when you have a good
Yeah.
leader like that, you wanna mimic what your leader does, so
Yes.
you wanna get in the trenches too and help out or be a servant to your community.
So I told him, when you plow snow, we plow snow.
Mhm.
I might send my husband to do it for
Yeah,
me.
absolutely.
I'm just teasing.
You're like, can I get another tool to put on this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you both have children in school, what
Yes.
if your child has something the same night, the school board has something?
So that comes up, that's gonna come up
There's
with,
5 of us.
yes, and
We just have to
so.
have 3
Mhm.
at the meeting.
And
So we have
so,
a quorum. We have to have a quorum.
sorry, Rob, we always have 5, and so there'll be things that I have at my school. You know, I get picked for something, and I've told these guys, I'm not missing it. Children are first, number one, whether it's my biologicals or my borrowed, and so I'll miss, and I'll say, hey, can you take over for me tonight?
We're very understanding because of the kids.
Because, you know, there will be a couple
Yes.
swim meets, and I'm worried, you know, why did we do the board meeting, you know, but.
Board meeting's always second Tuesday of the month.
Yes, and general staff meetings at Hendricks are that as well, and they're 4 times a year. I think I could do two, again, just thinking out
You're
logistics.
just- that's what we do. Moms are constantly, with the second Tuesday of the month and the third.
And then there's a
Wednesday.
snow day and everything's canceled.
Yes.
I don't know what I'm gonna
I
I
know.
know.
She's smiling and nodding.
You know.
I know, you can do it in certain situations. Just not when someone's telling you something they're very passionate about.
And they're like,
I didn't realize I was smiling. I was not.
It's interesting.
well, because you are a very optimistic person.
I can turn this guy's mind around, is what I was thinking. I got it.
Yeah.
Keep telling me.
away.
Yes, vaccinated away.
That's what it was.
So, Michael, the last question I had, we were talking about this, what made you decide to apply?
Good question. I do think that I have the ability to positively impact the school system and the community. I do think it is a big stretch out of my comfort zone, but I'm willing to step up to the plate because if not me, then who, right, Jake?
Right.
I think the time is right. I think my kids are at an age where maybe they can be a little more independent
Sure.
on certain evenings. I think that I see where certain services could improve, and I think I have a lot to offer.
I agree, for sure.
Yeah. A lot to offer, and now we just gotta figure out a lot of time to just navigate and put it in all the
I
buckets.
recommend having longer weekends and having a sun Saturday. Like you build in an extra day where I can get all my mom stuff done with all my professional
Yes.
stuff, right in between Saturday and Sunday.
I'm incredibly fortunate though, Jared Baker is amazing at taking care of all the household chores and things, and So I don't have a lot of mom chores. She's got a lot of dad chores.
It should be a 50-50. It's a 50-50.
Or I've screwed up things on purpose where I can't do it. My grocery shop, he says I buy anything on an end cap that we don't need, so you can screw that up real quick, just spend a lot of money.
Okay, I'm writing down these notes.
I don't stack the dishwasher right.
Oh, I don't do that either. I get in trouble for that one too.
That's
Don't
not my
worry.
job either.
You know what? You just do it. You're better at it anyways.
According to some people.
According to Jared and Jeremiah, there
I
is
can't-
right
I
and
can't
wrong.
touch it.
I thought just get it full.
If I put the cup.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Clean and full. I don't know.
There is a right.
What do you mean you're supposed to?
I,
rinse it before you
okay,
put it?
but I would love for someone else to do it. If someone
Yes.
else did it, though, I still wouldn't care. I'd be
Well-
like, that's fine.
You've given up that control.
Yeah.
He still has it.
Yeah.
I'll let him.
I would too.
And you smiling.
That's interesting. I don't think I can figure that one out. There's a lot of things I can do, but that puzzle's not one of them.
And you're so good at it. You know what? Why don't you just keep doing it? I value your expertise in this area.
Well,
You've
thank you for your
enjoyed.
time.
Thank
It's
you,
nice
thank
seeing
you,
all of
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Meeting you.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're all
And I
done.
will see you on Thursday, maybe, at Speedway.
Yeah, well, if we get to travel, I guess we don't know until 24 hours before.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
We're excited.
Tomorrow's Wednesday and we've yet to be to school, so yeah, I guess.
So, and I assume the recommendation is social media, you just don't even respond, right? Like you don't engage.
No.
Great.
They'll say really mean things about you, and you just, this is what,
Yes.
ready?
That's interesting.
That's interesting. There's my.
You taught us something.
Yes, thank you, see you later.
Thanks.
She was
Yeah,
delightful.
you too.
All right, I'm going into an executive session.
No, you're adjourning this meeting.
Oh, never mind.